Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Buddha Dhamma and Sangha. Respected Maha Sangha. Respected prophecy, Upender Rao. Dhamma brother and sister. The all participants in Angwin Dhamma Club. Very good afternoon. My Dhamma name is Quang Ngọc. It's really honorable, privilege, and happy for me to be the moderator for the interactive talk and discussion today. So before we start our virtual meeting and dialogue, I would like to invite all of us to put your palm together to recite the Buddha name for 3 times in Thai language. My request Venerable Thích to raise the voice first. Venerable, please.
Nam mô tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Nam mô tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Nam mô tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Thank you very much, Bante. Next, I would like to announce the tentative program today as follows. 1. Introducing guests and participants. 2. Opening speech and introducing the chief guest by Dhamma Sister Thong Mang. 3. Main speech by our chief guest, Prophecy Dependent Rao. 4. Q&A session. 5. Vote attend by Dhamma Sister Hữu Tâm. 6. Closing program by the traditional song of the club. I have arrived, I am home. It is meaningful and interactive meeting today. It's really my pleasure and honorable for us to welcome Professor C. Upender Rao, Chairperson of the Special Center for Science Study at Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. Venerable Dr. Thích founder of President of Nguyễn Thiệu Dhamma Club Vietnam, on Dhamma brother and sister, all members of the club, on tears. Once again, warmly welcome you all to this great meeting today. To understand our Nguyễn Thiệu Dhamma Club and for abstract theology of our guest speaker today, now I would like to invite Dhamma Sister Thong Mang for opening remarks and introducing our guest. Sister, please, over the mic to you, Sister.
Namo Sakyamuni Buddha, respected Mahasangha, respected Professor Juri Upender, dear members of the Nguyễn Thiệu Dhamma Club, Dhamma brothers and sisters, very good afternoon to you all. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome Professor Juri Upender to our Nguyễn Thiệu Dhamma Club in the School of Buddhist Studies, Vietnam. Thank you so much, Venerable, of our invitation as the guest speaker today. Let me take a few minutes to give you a brief introduction of Buddhist School of Buddhist Studies and Nguyễn Thiệu Dhamma Club. As we know, Buddhist School of Buddhist Studies is one of the top schools in the field of Buddhist studies in Vietnam. We send a large number of monks and nuns to 3 Vietnam's Buddhist University in Ho Chi Minh City, Huế, and Hà Nội capital. Our students are usually our top students at the entrance exam for graduate programs in this university. For the betterment of usage of English, Nguyễn Thiệu Dhamma Club was founded by when Dr. Thích in School of Buddhist Studies at Bình Province in 2020 with participation of more than 200 monks and nuns. We are actively learning Dhamma English under the form of Buddhist English Club. That we use English as a medium language to understand the Buddha teachings, along with improvement of our necessary skills of speaking, reading, listening, and writing for our members. For in future, it's basic step for our members of the club to have good chance to learn Dhamma through English and to understand English under the form of Dhamma. Wycliffe had which approaches to prominent speakers, scholars, teachers, and professors in the field of Buddhist studies from different countries in different Buddhist traditions. Last, Cambodia, Myanmar, Thailand, Sri Lanka, India for Theravada tradition, Vietnam, China, Japan, and Bhutan, Tibet for Prajna Buddhist tradition. Today is our 21st dialogue with Professor Churi Pendar in 2022 in the series of weekly international meeting of the Viettel Dhamma English Club Vietnam. It's with correct pleasure that Professor Churi Upender has accepted our invitation as guest speakers to have on the of analysis of Pabbajja Sutta. Professor Dr. Churi Upender has specialized in Pali and Sanskrit, and his research interests includes early Buddhist literature, philosophy, and Pali linguistics. Professor Ross is a prominent scholar in the field of Pali and in these studies. He is at Tawana Hindu University, New Delhi. Professor Rout was appointed as a visiting professor in Cambodia on ICCR to teach the Pali and Buddhist studies. He was the chairperson of the Special Center for Sanskrit Studies at Tawana University, New Delhi. Professor Rout has extensively written and published both in Pali, Sanskrit, Hindi, Telugu, and English. He received awards and certificates of honors from various institutions in India and abroad, such as certificates of appreciation from Royal University of Phnom Penh, Cambodia, Karambarit Award from Akla Bharatiya Vidyaparishad Kashi Virat Sagar, Award from Institute of Oriental Studies, Kolkata in 2015, and Rastriya Hindu University for Rastriya Girl Samra in 2016, and three gold medals from Osmania University
enough.
and Banaras Hindu University.
No need to give so much. I think no need to give so much introduction. No need to give so much introduction. That's enough. Let us start.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Yes, now, Sister Dhamma.
Once again, thank you for joining us and welcome you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sister Thoman. Now, my request, Professor Upender to give your message on analysis of Pabbajja Sutta today. Over the mic to you, sir.
Thank you very much. So now, I have chosen the Pabbajja Sutta for you because it is quite relevant, because I can see so many monks here, so many monks and so many nuns here. You know what is the meaning of Pabbajja? Pabbajja means taking the ascetichood, taking the monkhood. That is Pabbajja. And I'm very happy, really, even though I'm not feeling well today. I'm very happy to see all of you because you have taken Pabbajja. Taking Pabbajja is not easy. That is what the meaning of the sutta. The sutta means, I think you should understand, there are so many things in Buddhism. I'm afraid that I cannot tell everything in 1 hour, because I hope that you know the history of Buddhism. First, you should know the history of Buddhism. And when we speak about the Pabbajja Sutta, this Pabbajja Sutta is taken from the Sutta Nipata of Khuddaka Nikaya of Sutta Pitaka of Theravada Pali literature. So, you should know so many developments in Buddhism. But I know that I was in Vietnam, and also I was in Cambodia. Also, I was in Thailand. After coming there, we became very, very, very happy, because You treat Buddha as a god, it's a Bhagavan. That is said already in Pali literature. Bhagavan. He is not merely sage. He is not merely ascetic. You see, wherever you see in Tripitakas, you will find Bhagavan. Bhagavan means divine, God. He's God itself, because Buddha reached to the status of Sarvajna. He knows everything. You see, when we speak about the Buddha, why I am telling all these things? When we speak about the Buddha, particularly in Theravada, in India, we also sometimes follow Theravada. We treat Buddha as a human being. It doesn't mean that we are insulting Buddha. We are more interested on historical Buddha. And even though he is a man, he was a human being, but he reached the very, 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 very highest status. And he was called as Bhagavan. So both are correct. Theravada concept, also Mahayana concept, both are correct. In fact, in Hinduism, we treat Buddha as God. We have 10 incarnations. 10 incarnations of Vishnu, and Buddha is one of them. So this is very interesting, but what I would like to say that you should know the history of Buddhism. Otherwise, sometimes you confuse. I hope that you know the history of Buddhism, how this basic Buddhist literature, where Buddhist literature has taken birth, where? In India. In India, Buddha was born in India. After Buddha, Buddhist literature has taken birth in India. Taken birth, and it is developed in India. Only after 350 years, Sri Lankans came to know about this. How Sri Lankans came to know? Because Ashoka's son went to Sri Lanka and has taken Tripitakas. So why I am saying all these things? Buddhism developed along with Athakathas. Along with Athakathas, all Pali literature already developed, systematized, chapterized, everything in India already. But it was not printed in India in the form of book. It is not printed in India because that is not the Indian culture. It doesn't mean that Indians do not know writing. Indians know writing. But canonical literature is not written in India. I hope you are following my English. Canonical literature, you understand? Like Tripitakas, like Vedas, all this is canonical literature. That is not written in India. It doesn't mean that we did not have script. We did not know the writing skills. No, we have. We have clear evidences that at the time of Buddha, Indians knew writing. We have clear evidences. In Tripitakas only we have evidences. But still Tripitakas are not written. And how they are preserved, how they are collected? They are collected through oral tradition, memorization. Canonical literature, we say in Sanskrit, dharmika sahitya, or spiritual or dharmika sahitya is not written. It is memorized. And teachers teach to their students, and the students teach again to their students, and again to their students, again to their students. It in this oral tradition. This literature goes forward. And that is the amazing culture of India that is only preserved in India, not anywhere in the world. Because when Chinese travelers came to India, they were astonished to see the Buddhist thought in India. They became very happy, and they have written all records. Oh, this is like this. Here I saw this. Here I saw this. Here I saw this monastery. Here I saw this Nalanda University. Thousands of students are studying here. Students from outside the India are coming to Nalanda and studying. So all these they wrote. And later on, they translated many Mahayana sutras into Chinese language and into Tibetan language. And they developed Buddhism in their countries. And in Vietnam, in Ho Chi Minh City, Huay Quang Monastery is famous for documentation of Chinese these things. Translation from Chinese to Vietnamese, I think. Chinese to Vietnamese. But when I was in Vietnam, I was telling again and again, it is good because Chinese and Tibetans have preserved a lot of literature. That is true. But why not directly from Sanskrit and Pali to Vietnamese? I discussed with many monks. Because you should know the Indian pronunciation, because Indian pronunciation of Sanskrit and Pali is very correct. Like we read this Pali suttas like this. Pabbajjam kitta issami yatha pabbajji chakhuma yatha vimamsamanoso pabbajjam samarochai sambadhoyam ghara vaso Rajasayatanam iti abho kasocha pabbajja iti disvana pabbajja. So this is the correct pronunciation of Pali. And also Mahayana sutras also, Dharanis, Mahayana sutras. When you recite Om, Amitabhaya Namaha, all these pronunciations you should learn. I'm not saying something arrogantly, don't misunderstand, because Sanskrit and Pali are originated in India. And Indian teachers know correct pronunciation. But if you try to learn Sanskrit and Pali from Chinese or Tibetans, you can, first of all, they don't know Sanskrit and Pali, they have forgotten. They know only Chinese and Tibetan languages. So these many things are there. So what happened? Ananda praises, Ananda says this sutta. You know Ananda? Ananda is one of the very important disciple of Buddha. Ananda was originally, Ananda was his relative also. Ananda also happened to be relative of Buddha. But Ananda became very, very staunch disciple of Buddha. And Ananda was always accompanied Buddha. But Ananda was always going with Buddha. Venerable Ananda. So Ananda says this. Pabbajjam kittaisam. Who is saying this? Buddha is not saying this. First verse. Bhagavan Buddha is not saying. Ananda is saying. I am praising. Ananda says, I am praising Pabbajja. I am praising Pabbajja because why I am praising Pabbajja? Ananda says, because it's a great thing. I will praise, or I am praising the Pabbajja. Pabbajja means ascetic life. I am praying this ascetic life of Buddha Why? Because it is such a high that even Bimbisara was not successful in front of Buddha. Bimbisara, you must know who is Bimbisara. Bimbisara was a great king in those days. I hope that you know all this history. You must know the basic history of Buddhism. When Lord Buddha was, normally we don't use English words, Lord Buddha, no. We say Bhagavan Buddha. Because Lord is used for Christian fathers. We don't use that. Venerable also we don't want to use because we say Bhante. Reverend, Lord, these are used for Christian fathers. So we try to not use those words. So Bhagavan Buddha, when Bhagavan Buddha was roaming, you know where he got enlightenment and where he lived much of his life, you know where? In ancient India, in Magadha dynasty, in Magadha kingdom. In Magadha kingdom. In those days, the king of Magadha was Bimbisara, King Bimbisara. Bimbisara was very, very disciple to Buddha, and Bimbisara's son Ajatashatru also became disciple of Buddha, but it's a long history. But now let us see. Bimbisara was contemporary to Buddha. And Ananda says, now I praise the ascetic life of Buddha because by which he approved the ascetic life because he conquered even the proposal of Bimbisara. You see, nobody wants to lose any opportunity in the world. Suppose somebody says that you are all became Buddhist monks, and if somebody comes and puts a proposal to you, I will give you a big, nice building, 5-bedroom flat, and a beautiful car. Only just don't be monk and come, marry me, or become householder. I don't know how many monks can still become monks, can still continue monks. It is very difficult because conquering desires is a Buddha Darshana, is the philosophy of Buddha. Conquering the desires. Buddha says in after enlightenment, immediately Buddha said two Gadhas, it is Udana. It's called Udana. Buddha said two Udanas. Aneka jati sansaram, sandha visam, anibisam, gahakarkam gavesanto, he says. He says that Aneka jati sansaram, sandha visam, anibisam, Gahakarakam gavesanto dukkha jati punappunam. So this is the first verse. You see, Buddha's teachings, we have Tripitakas, Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, Abhidhamma Pitaka. In Theravada tradition in Sri Lanka, somebody wants to ask anything? Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, Abhidhamma Pitaka. In Theravada countries, for example, Sri Lanka, they count Vinaya Pitaka first. Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, Abhidhamma Pitaka. But in my view, Sutta Pitaka is the first. So this is the Indian tradition. Because for Theravadas, Vinaya is more important. That is why they brought Vinaya as the first. But Buddha also did not use Vinaya first. Buddha clearly says in Mahaparinibbana Sutta, Yo mamachaye, Yo dhammocha vinayocha desito panyatto. Buddha once asks, Ananda asks Buddha in Kushinagara, when he was laying down, Buddha, because Buddha knows when he gets, we don't say death, we say Mahaparinirvana. When Buddha, Lord Buddha, Bhagavan Buddha was about to get Mahaparinirvana, Ananda asks Bhagavan Buddha that who will be teacher after you? After you, O Lord. who will be our teacher. Buddha did not say that Ananda you can become because you are serving me for a long time. You become? No, he never said like that. And also he did not say Mahakassapa. No. Also he did not say Sariputra. No. He did not take anybody's name. He said that after me, Dhamma and Vinaya will be your teachers. Dhamma and Vinaya will be. So Buddha himself has taken the first Dhamma and then Vinaya. So this is the correct serial, that Dhamma, Vinaya, Abhidhamma. So in this way, first you should understand the problem is you should understand the Indian tradition. And Indian tradition is more important. Unfortunately, people did not study Indian tradition of Buddhism perfectly. And after enlightenment, Lord Bhagavan Buddha recited the two Udanas. He said, Aneka Jati Sansaram, Sandhavissam Anibisam, Gahakarakam Gavesanto Dukha Jati Punapunam. Oh, I could not know this secret. Without knowing the constructor of this house, oh, I was running through many births, many births. Because Buddha in his meditation, he understood all his previous births. And then he, first verse, this is the first teaching of Buddha. In Buddhism, in Buddhist history, we have various kinds of division of Tripitakas, like 5 Tripitakas. You can also divide Buddha's teaching into 3 categories. First teaching, last teaching, and middle teaching. Have you heard this? This is 3 kinds of teachings of Buddha. This is Buddhism. First teaching, last teaching, middle teaching. First teaching is called Prathama Buddha Vachan. Prathama Buddha Vachan, we say. Last teaching, Antima, Tathagatasya Antima Vacha, the last Buddhist teaching. And the middle teaching, Tathagatasya Majjhima Vacha, in between. So, first teaching, this, Aneka Jati Sansaram, Sandhavissam Anibisam, Gahakarakam Gavesanto. See, you see, I could not, I was searching the constructor of this house. What is the meaning of constructor of this house? You know, this house means this body. Who made this body? I was searching him. Buddha says, I was searching him for many years, for many births, but I could not get it. But now, Gahakaraka Ditthosi, oh, constructor of my body, I found you. Oh, constructor of my body, I found you. Now I came to know about you. Puna Geham na kahasi. Now you cannot construct the house again. And who is this constructor of this house? You know that? This house means this body, that means this birth. Who is the constructor? Trishna. Trishna. Trishna means intense desire. He is the constructor of this body. Trishna means extreme desire. So we have desires. So desire is the root cause of suffering. Because Buddha visualized 4 noble truths. Dukkho, Dukkha Samudayo, Dukkha Nirodho, Dukkha Nirodha Gamini, Pratipada Arya Sach. Buddha understood that there is a suffering in the world. Understanding suffering is a Buddha Darshana. He understood, he visualized that. And then he understood, oh, this suffering is being originated. First he understood, the first truth is, oh, there is a suffering in the world. So this is understanding, is a unique understanding. Don't think that we all know that. No, we don't know that. Buddha knew something special way. Buddha understood, that is his enlightenment. Buddha understood there is a suffering in the world. Nobody understood this, but Buddha understood there is a suffering in the world. Oh, there is nothing happiness in the world, there is a suffering original. Then what about this happiness? We are already happy in the world. You may ask, no, that is not happiness. That is not really happiness. Because you are ignorant, that is why you are misunderstanding suffering as happiness. This is the Buddhist philosophy. That's why Buddha says, Konu haso kimanando nicham pajjalite sati andhakarena vonadha padipam nagave satha. I don't know why people are smiling and people are laughing. Buddha says, I don't know why. There is a suffering everywhere. You should not smile and you should not laugh. There is a suffering in the world. So why you are smiling and why you are thinking life is full of happiness? Because andhakarena vonadha, you are covered with the darkness. Covered with the dark. This is the reality of the Buddhist philosophy that we should understand. That means I am not saying that we should be always unhappy, we should always have suffering. No. We should recognize that there is a suffering in the world. Buddha also never said that don't be happy. No, Buddha actually said that be happy. That is what Buddha said. Nibbanam paramam sukham. What is the meaning of Nibbana? Nibbana means nirvana. What is the nirvana? What is enlightenment? Paramam sukham, ultimate happiness is nirvana. Therefore, Buddha said in first teaching that I understood the constructor of this house, that is a desire. And now again you cannot. And the last sentence, last teaching of the Buddha says, Hanta dani bhikkave amantayami vo vayadhamma sankhara appabadena sampadetha. Oh bhikshus, I am calling you. Again I am making you alert.
Mình muốn bị bệnh hả?
He is talking to me or by mistake? Yeah. Okay. So Buddha says that where I was teaching, Buddha said that in his last teaching, that again Buddha called bhikshus, his disciples. Once again, I am making you alert. Be alert in your life, and with a lot of alertness. Apramada, appamada, Pali, apramada, Sanskrit. What is apramada? Apramada is alertness.
Nó bị gì á? Chứ đâu có đâu.
Buddha says appamado amatapadam, pamado machunopadam. Alertness is the life. Alertness is the life, and not being alert is the death. Buddha said. So alertness is Buddha gives a lot of importance to alert. What is alertness? Always you should have the consciousness that which is dukkha, which is nitya, which is anitya, which is permanent, which is not permanent, which is happiness, which is not happiness. Always you should have that vision. Even though you are enjoying the beautiful, delicious lunch, even though you are talking to beautiful people, you should have alertness. Oh, these people, this food is not permanent. That is alertness. So Buddha's teaching, that is the last teaching. And in between first teaching and last teaching, Buddha taught for 45 years. That is Tathagatasya Majjhima Vacha. That is the middle teaching. 45 years. That is Tripitaka. Whole Tripitaka. So now let me complete briefly this sutta. And then Ananda says, Sambadhoyam Ghara Vasu. Number 2 verse I'm explaining now from Pabbajja Sutta. Sambadhoyam Ghara Vasu Rajasayatanam iti Abho Kasocha Pabbajja iti Diswana Pabbajja. And Buddha understood that this Pabbajja, ascetichood, is very, very great thing. And to be inside the house is very, very. To be in the house, inside the house, this house life, this household life is so much painful. And this household life is full of impurities. And an ascetic life is, you know, what is the difference between household life and ascetic life? Ascetic means bhikshu. Bhikshu's life is like open air, like open air. So considering the greatness of Pabbajja, Lord Buddha, Bhagavan Buddha has taken the Pabbajja. Then what happened? One day, Pabbajitwana kayena papakammam vivajjayi vachi dukcharitam hitva ajivam parisodhai. Means after becoming ascetic, Buddha has avoided his body. Buddha has avoided all sinful deeds. All sinful deeds. He stopped doing his sinful deeds, and having also abandoned sin in words, not only activities, also in words. We do sinful activities in 3 ways: through words, through activities, through mind. Mind also. Buddha has abandoned all sinful activities, and he's cleansed his life. And Buddha went to Rajagaha. That is Agama Rajagaham Buddho Magadhanam Giribbajam Pindaya Abhiharesi Akinna Varalakhano. Then Buddha went to Rajagriha and he entered into Giribraja. There is a place, Giribraja in Magadha, for alms. Why he went to Rajagriha? Because Buddha was never staying. Buddha and his disciples were never staying inside the town. Always they were staying outside the towns, in the forest. They were staying in the forest, not inside the towns. It doesn't mean that in India that time there were no buildings, there were no palaces, there were no towns. No, India was so developed in the world. Bharata, we say, Bharata was ideal to the entire world, and there was buildings. There were palaces, beautiful palaces, but Buddha and disciples never stayed inside the towns. They were always not even villages. They were always staying outside the villages, outside the towns, in the forest. And Buddha then went into Giribraja, and then during only for the alms food, only for the bhiksha, they enter into the towns. But after taking bhiksha, again they go back to forest. That was the life of Buddha. And for bhiksha, one day when he entered into Rajagriha, what happened? Bimbisara, first time, Bimbisara never knew Buddha. First time Bimbisara has seen Buddha. Bimbisara standing in his palace. See where Bimbisara was standing. Bimbisara had a very beautiful palace in those days. The time of Buddha. What was the time of Buddha? It is not clear. Some people say Buddha was born in 6th century BC. Okay, even if we take 6th century BC, before Christ, 6th century, 600 years ago, before the birth of Jesus Christ, when Europe, when there was no America continent at all, when there was no Europe, Europeans were barbarians. That time, in India, there was a palace of Bimbisara. Bimbisara was standing, you see, very clearly Pali is written. Bimbisara standing in his palace means not just one, not just standing on his palace. Bimbisara was standing on his palace. You should understand where Bimbisara was standing on his Tamaddasa Bimbisaro Pasadaspim Patithito. Pasadaspim Patithito. That means Bimbisara was not standing on the road, because if he stands on the road, there was no chance to see Buddha. He was standing on the first floor of his palace. And when he came into the balcony, like a huge balcony of his palace, he happened to see Buddha walking through the streets. So you should understand, there were palaces, there were buildings. We have clear evidence in the Pali literature. So Tamaddasa Bimbisaro Pasadaspim Patithito Diswa Lakhana Sampannam Imamatham Abhasatha. Means after seeing Buddha, Bimbisara standing on his in his palace and seeing him, Buddha, he saw Buddha. And how Buddha was there? He was endowed with 32 signs. Buddha was not ordinary. Buddha was endowed with 32 signs, royal signs. Dvatrimshat Mahapurusha Lakshana, we say in Mahayana literature. Dvatrimshat, 32 great signs. I think you know these 32 great signs of Buddha. His face was very big. His foot was very big. You see, whoever sees Buddha, he is impressed in those days. Such a great personality Buddha was having. So Bimbisara standing in his palace saw Buddha, and seeing Buddha, how Buddha was endowed with 32 signs, royal signs, great signs, he spoke these words. He spoke to his soldiers. He spoke to his ministers. You see, who is this man? He's going, Imam Bhakto Nisametha. Attend you to this man. Imam Bhakto Nisametha Abhirupo Braha Suchi. Charanena cha sampanno Yugamattancha Pekhati. Attend you, oh man, attend this man. I don't know who is he. He is appearing so outstanding. He is handsome. He's a great. He's clean. He's both endowed with good conduct, and he does not look before him further than. And he is so having 32 characteristics, 32 kinds of great characteristics on his body. He is something unusual man. He is not ordinary man. Please see him, who is going there in the streets. So after saying that, then Okhitta Chakku Satima Nayam Nichakulamiva Rajaduta Abhidhavantu Kuhim Bhikku Gamissar. So you see how he's appearing with the downcast eyes, because Buddha was not seeing outside. Means Buddha was not seeing here and there. Always he was seeing down. That is the meaning of Okhitta Chakku. Okhitta Chakku means the downcast eyes. Downcast eyes. That is a bhikshu. Bhikshu should be like that. He should see always down. When he is going for alms food, he should see down, not always here and there, here and there. So he cannot be bhikshu. But Buddha was like that. And with the downcast eyes, thoughtful, he's very thoughtful. This man is not like those low caste. He does not appear to me a low caste man. He's a normal man. Let all of you, O messengers, let all of you run after him. Go and see where he goes. Where this bhikshu, where this monk is going, please see, find out. Bimbisara said. And then they went to Te Pesita Rajaduta Pitthito Anubandhism. And the king's messengers followed him and said, where this bhikshu is going, where he will reside. And going, begging from house, then they followed him. Then Buddha, what he was doing? Buddha begging from house to house, watching the door of the senses. Well-restrained Buddha quickly filled his bowl. That means he got alms food full of his bowl. And conscious, and he was very thoughtful. And he was completely aparamada. He was having a lot of alertness. And then what he did, Sapadanam charamano guttadvaro susamputo Kippam pattam apuresi sampajano patisato. This already I explained. Pindacharam charitvana nikham nagaramuni pandavam abhiharesi yetta vaso bhavisasi. Then immediately wandering about after taking alms food, having gone to the town, this Muni, that means he said, he went to Pandava mountain, Pandava, and it must be there, and he started living there in Pandava mountain. Pandava, his name, because these are all history. Don't think that Buddha is just imaginary. Buddha was a historical person, and he was roaming in Magadha. He went to Pandava, very clearly names are there. He went to Pandava. Pandavam Abhiharis, then he went to Pandava mountain. And then what happened? These soldiers followed him. Yeso Bhikkhu Maharaja Pandavasa Puratharo Nisinno Veghasabho Va Siho Va Girigabhari. This bhikshu, then they came back to King Bimbisara and they explained to him, oh great king, he's sitting east side of Pandava mountain, he's sitting east side of Pandava mountain. And how he was sitting? He's sitting like a tiger. He's sitting like a great tiger and like a bull, like a great bull, and like a lion, like a great lion he is sitting. All these are examples. And then in the mountain cave, the Pandava mountain cave, he's sitting there. Having gone as far as ground was practicable in the chariot, then immediately Bimbisara has taken the chariot. Immediately, without delay. And he went to Buddha. And then he went there, and then what he said, we don't have much time, please see. Verse number 16. Yuvacha daharo chasi. Verse 16. You see. Yuvacha daharo chasi. Patamupatiko susu. Vanna harona sampanno jatima vyakatiyo. Sobhayanto anikagam. Then Bimbisara puts a great proposal. When Bimbisara tells to Buddha, oh, you are so young and you are so great personality. Why you became ascetic? You come with me. I will give a lot of wealth to you. And I can give you my kingdom, half of my kingdom, you become king because you deserve for that. Then Bimbisara put a proposal to Buddha. And he says that just I wanted to know, who are you? Tell me. Then Buddha tells about him. That is the importance of this sutta. Buddha, he tells about himself. What he says, you listen. Adichanama Gottena. Oh son, oh king, Bimbisara, don't think I am poor person. I am Kshatriya. And my dynasty is a Surya Vamsha. Sun rays. Adiccha nama Gottena. Sakya nama Jatiya. My forefathers and we belong to Shakya dynasty, Shakya kings. Tamha kula pabbajitosmi nakami abhitappai. But I did not like the life. I did not like the king's life. I renounced everything. I came out of my house. Already I have a lot of kingdom. My father is Shuddhodana. I belong to the sun race and I belong to the Shakya dynasty. But I understood there is nothing in life and I abandoned, I sacrificed everything and I became ascetic. Therefore, I cannot accept your because I belong to Shakya, I belong to sun race and my kingdom is Shakya. By birth, I am Shakya. I am not low caste, I am not ordinary person. From that clan, I have become ascetic. From that clan, I became ascetic. Not longing for sexual pleasure because I understood that there is nothing in life meaningful. There is a dukkha, suffering in life. That is why I abandoned everything. In last verse, he says, Kame swadinavam diswa nekhammam dattuke matu padhanaya gamisami yetame rajyati mano. See misery in sensual pleasures and considering forsaking of the world happiness. Means I understood that life is full of miseries. Life is full of sufferings. And considering all these worldly happiness is momentary, anitya, momentary, I will go to, I have abandoned, I became ascetic. I became bhikshu. So after hearing this, Bimbisara became astonished and became very wonderstruck. Oh, he's such a great person. I thought that he will accept my proposal. But Buddha said that, no, I'm ascetic now. I cannot accept it. Already I know the meaning of this life. I have higher aim. Ruling kingdom is a small thing, but I have higher aim in my life. So that is the meaning of Pabbajja Sutta. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can ask me.
Thank you very much, Prophecy Yuban Rao, for enlightening us the wonderful topic today, analysis of Pabbajja Sutta. We have got a lot of knowledge and useful information that you have given our club members through your presentation. I believe that all participants and members here have understood clearly and fully about prominent feature of analysis of Pabbajja Sutta. And once again, thank you, Prophecy Yuban Rao. Now it's time for us to come to Q&A session. Anyone who wants to ask our just guest, kindly open your mic and feel free to ask. Don't hesitate, please. Trời ơi, mọi ơi là mọi. All questions are welcome in the session, please.
Okay, liên lạc.
Liên lạc, please.
Good afternoon, sir. I want to ask you, do you have any words of advice to share for young monastics who are studying and are practicing according to rule Pabbajja Sutta? Thank you very much.
Kindly repeat your question again.
Yeah, I didn't understand. Vietnamese pronunciation is so difficult. because Vietnamese language is so beautiful. It's like musical. Like that, you see? Up and down, up and down. It is very difficult for us. Yeah, please. Ask again. Unmute your
Okay. Yes. I want to ask you, do you have any words of advice to share for young monastics who are studying and practicing through Pabbajja Sutta?
I didn't understand.
Kali give you a suggestion, advice for monks and nuns when we study about the Pabbajja Sutta.
Yeah. That is good. A good question. And thank you so much, Venerable. I think she's nun, yeah?
Yes.
So, this is nothing, you see, you should understand, you should try to translate each word from Pabbajja Sutta, each word. First, you put the words in order in Pali and then get the meaning out of that. And for that, you should know Pali language. You should try to learn Pali language. You should try to learn Sanskrit language. And now you may say that why we need? We have all literature in Vietnamese. You may ask me. But if you study something in original, you will understand more clearly. You will become more happy. So word to word, you should understand. And Pabbajja Sutta is available everywhere. I have sent to Venerable Thich Dong Dak just now, the whole Pabbajja Sutta in Roman script. You can see, you can read. Did you show, Venerable, did you show that to this monk? Everybody? Yeah, like this. You can read this through Roman. You see, Pabbajjam kitta isami, yatha pabbajji chakkuma. You see, you can read like this. And take this and take translation side by side, keep side by side, and try to learn it. Chakkuma. Chakkuma means, you know, what is the meaning of chakkuma? Chakkuma, chakshu. Chakku means Pali. Chakshu is Sanskrit. Eye. Having eye. Buddha having eye. What is the meaning of Buddha is having eye? That means he is having inner eye. Inner eye. He can see the things. We also have eyes, but we are not seeing. This is called charma chakshu. We all have only charma chakshu, means bodily eye, bodily eye. But Buddha had inner eye. Chakkuma means having eye. Eye. What kind of eye? Inner eye. That is the meaning. Okay, next.